On page 110 and 111, you are going to plan your own instructions. Okay, so here are the steps. So first, ready, think. You have to brainstorm as many ideas for a contest that you can think of. For example, an egg and spoon race, a dance contest, cooking contest, a build a raft competition, etc. So this will be the first part. Your second part, you're going to have to write a draft. And then your last part, you are going to write your instructions. Use 3, 4, 5, and 6 to check after you've written your instructions. Your reading for the week. If you should meet a butterfly. When I opened the classroom door, all the hearing impaired children ran to greet me, except for one, Patricia. She stayed at her desk and glanced at me with her one eye, then turned her attention to a pencil box. She didn't know me, and she wasn't sure she wanted to go. My lesson went well, but the other children were aware that Patricia was ignoring me, so they tried their best to be especially angelic. The next few lessons were much the same. Patricia didn't take part in anything. She remained in her own little world, and we weren't part of it. She didn't seem to mind that she was excluding herself. On the day I decided to talk about our mothers, Patricia sat up a little straighter. I knew her mother was a pediatrician, that is, a doctor for kids. So I began by talking about the different careers our mothers have. A tiny chink appeared in her armor. She was so proud of her mom and thrilled that we all knew about her. Now, I left the classroom smiling to myself. The lesson on angles didn't interest Patricia until we each made one for the board. Hers had curly black hair and 2 brown eyes, and she was immensely proud of her. My heart skipped a beat when a warm smile lit her face, but as I moved to hug her, she turned her back on me. I stepped away and the other children frowned at Patricia. She folded her arms and frowned right back. The annual concert was a few weeks away and I had to choreograph a dance for Patricia's class. Patricia hated those lessons. She wasn't good at dancing. Her fragile body wouldn't cooperate. She tried hard to master the steps, but she also looked relieved when the class ended. I considered the animals in the music. Elephant, crocodiles, octopus. Please, can I be the butterfly? Begged pretty Lindiwe. She jumped up and down and waved her hands around. I'm the crocodile, announced Ryan as he snapped his arms together abruptly. Who's going to be the octopus? Squealed Geraldine. I won't be the elephant, shouted Simpiwe as she folded her arms and pouted. I glanced at Patricia. She was very quiet and nobody else noticed she hadn't made a choice. She looked sad and far away and I knew she didn't dare hope. What would you like to be, Patricia? I ventured. A grasshopper, she announced. A grasshopper? She grinned suddenly and all the children laughed. I busied myself with the music. At the next dancing lesson, I announced the animals. The children were excited and mulled over their roles. Patricia eyed me skeptically as I turned my attention to her. Her face changed a little. A butterfly? She asked. A beautiful pink butterfly, I replied. The smile lingered longer than usual. Butterflies have antennae, she informed me. Costumes began to take shape and the day came when all the children tried them on. I was in the middle of a lesson when a little pink butterfly fluttered into my classroom. Patricia was beaming from ear to ear and she twirled on her toes for all of us to admire her. She began to laugh and all the children laughed with her. You can go back to your teacher now, I said eventually. She turned and ran and then 2 antennae peeped around my door. I was about to frown at her when she said, Shall I fly back? I nodded and sniffed a giggle. The curtains went up and the first few notes of If You Should Meet a Butterfly on a Summer's Day filled the packed hall. I dimmed the lights and flicked the spotlight onto a pink butterfly flitting across the stage, radiant and sparkling in a sequined costume. She lit up the hall. One morning, a few weeks after the concert, Patricia didn't wake up. Her fragile body was just too tired to stay in the world. So, our pink butterfly turned into an angel overnight. A small white porcelain angel guards her tombstone now, and when I've visited her grave to put some roses there, I think I've been a pink butterfly hovering too.